right, welcome. This is going to be a playthrough of Allura, a rooted in trophy incursion written by Alicia Furness, and we will be using the Trophy Dark system for playing it. All right. So before we get fully started, let's have our players introduce themselves with their name, their pronouns, and what you're interested in doing in the game today. All right, so let's start with James.
Hi, yeah, I'm James. My pronouns are he, him, and today, we were just talking before the recording started about Irish Americans, but I've given my character a very Irish name, Gerry O'Grada, who is a mercenary by occupation and a rogue colonial police sergeant who is trying to seek revenge on the creatures that destroyed his colony. And he's a kind of bitter, middle-aged, washed-up, you know, military type.
Well, I was just going to go for the players, but I mean, if you want to get started on your character, sure, go right ahead. All right, Amanda.
Hi, I'm Amanda, she, her. You probably have seen me around the TTRPG world begging to get into games constantly because that's what I do. Thanks to Mads for inviting me to join this game in sort of a last minute thing. Not really that last minute, but still, I managed to sneak in. I'm going to be playing Sue Ellen Palmer. Her pronouns are also she, her. She is a medic and also a disguised android, but we don't talk about that. Don't worry about it. It's disguise. And really, what she's interested in is discovering new species out among the stars. So I'm excited to probably do that, to find all these really kind and friendly species that we're going to find.
All right, and then last but not least, Mike.
My name is Mike, he, him. I play on the D&D Raw podcast, and I have played in other one-shots with Mads and Amanda, and it's been really fun, so I'm very happy to be here and play a new game I have never played before. I am playing Mark Miller, also he, him, a disgraced self-help author. Not because my book was bad, but because of probably some other stuff that we'll get into in the game. I work comms in my day-to-day since selling books didn't work. And I am on this job to install some software that I got from a guy that said he could restore my writing career. And gosh, there's going to be no complications with that. My goal as a player is to, in the words of Toy Story, fall with style. And that's it.
Okay. And I'm Madelancholy, Mads for short, she, her, they pronouns. I am an enthusiast of narrative roleplay, and this will be another foray for me into running an incursion based on the Trophy Dark game. All right. We're going to do a quick CATS, which is concept, aim, tone, and subject matter. Concept. So the game itself, Trophy Dark, is a role-playing game about a group of doomed seekers entering the haunted spaces of the world. This incursion, Allura, takes place in a world where a hired team is tasked with disconnecting a battleship from a network in the far-flung future and finding only darkness, possibly their own. Aim. The Seekers are motivated to secure their wants and needs during this mission, but they are doomed and most likely not able to achieve their goal. Instead, they are very likely to die by the end of the game, and watching how they go out is part of the fun. Tone. This game will be R-rated. Your characters are risk takers, willing to make dangerous choices. The game will likely be violent, terrifying, and include scenes of bodily horror and loss of self-control. And subject matter. The game is highly collaborative and improvisational. Players have a lot of say over the world itself, and can introduce story elements that no one, not even the keeper, was expecting, and play moves between the fiction and the metagame are frequent. Okay? The game runs best when everyone feels comfortable offering up their ideas. It uses six-sided dice of two colors, light and dark, to determine the outcome of risky actions. We will be using an online dice roller because when we get to the interesting part called the contest roll, that's always fun to see. All right. Because this is a horror scenario, we will be using safety tools to keep everyone safe at the table. We have the open door policy, which is explicit permission to leave the table at any time. We won't ask why, just confirm if you will return after a bit or completely exit the game. We also have the X card, so if there's something objectionable and unfun for you, we will have you can put an X in the video, or you can do an X in the chat, and we will go ahead and stop, and then redo. We will just clarify what needs to be X carded, but not ask why. All right? And then in our character keeper, we have our lines and veils tab, so that will give us the topics that we will line out, which we will not roleplay at all or mention in the game. And then we also have the veils, which are the things that will fade to black, not roleplay fully. Okay? And there's a few things of interest in here, which are, wow. We're not going to worry about that. We're just going to see if it's accepted when we start playing. All right, great. So the year is 3173. Adrift amongst the stars since the ecological destruction of Earth 500 years ago, humanity has carved out an existence on a group of spaceships and space stations, drifting aimlessly through the vast dangers of space. Life on the cobbled-together fleet is tough, so you signed up for the Rescue Corps after the third ship went dark. The Council of Colonies begged people to volunteer. They needed people to investigate, to stop the spread between the ships. You had no experience. You were just a civilian after all. But they promised to provide basic training. Now, you've been called to your first mission. The Council's premier battleship, the Allura, has ceased all communication and gone dark. The Council fears the worst. You and your new teammates must get in, disconnect the Allura from the network, and see if you can find the course before it spreads further throughout the colonies. No other mission has returned successfully. What darkness awaits you on the decks of the Allura? And so we enter in. You've taken your ship, and you have found the Allura. And you have boarded this battleship that has gone dark. No communications, for even to be able to come on board. No one has responded. You find yourself in the hangar, having boarded the Allura. It's dark, it's cold. You're wearing your suits. Who goes first? Or who comes in first from your ship, from your little traveling ship, onto the decks?
As the medic, I believe I will go second. I think somebody with big guns should go first, just in case.
Yeah, Mark's gonna throw a sidelong glance to the trained mercenary with the gun.
Yeah, I think Gerry always sort of mutters and swears to himself, and he's always like, "Oh, so I only have one skill set in this group. That's it. I'm the human shield. All right, fine." And just starts swearing and jimmying with the lock, trying to get it to open, and cursing in his helmet the whole time.
So Ellen gives Mark a long look like, get a hold of this guy.
Roll my eyes, yeah. Then start shining the flashlight around, trying to get bearings while Gerry is opening the door.
You see things in this hangar that are floating in the degravitationalized ship. There are blinking lights from the corners, but not enough to let you really see by. You're dependent upon the lights that are shining from your suits. And then you hear it as Gerry is trying to, break through the airlock of the bay, of the hangar. You hear some sort of muttering. Somehow through the sealed doors.
Can we tell what the muttering is saying?
No, not yet.
It's just noise. It's just echoing. It's probably us making noise and reflecting off the walls. Nothing too much to worry about.
It does seem unlikely that anybody could have survived whatever is happening in there, and after all this time,
Could be someone trying to jump our claim. And I think Gerry will shout, "This is a sanctioned salvage operation. If you interfere with our claim under Section 42, we will be prepared to open fire. Now get out of the way of the airlock."
Tell them there's also medical treatment available to them from us. Booming voice, do it.
Medical treatment is available as long as you don't make me shoot you.
I'm gonna just do a quick scan of the various broadcast bands and see if there's anything we can log on to. If there's murmuring, maybe. Yeah, Sue Ellen's probably right. People didn't survive, but in case they left like a distress signal or something, piece something together before we get into more trouble.
Okay. Fair enough. Alrighty. So, because you have not played this game before, Mike, let's explain, what the roles look like, okay?
Okay.
So, for the most part, you are concerned about risk roll, if you are doing something to risk your body or your mind. You are concerned about the ruin roll, if something is seen or experienced that is beyond the pale and will set off just like a response to the unnatural, then you will be called upon to do a ruin roll to see if your ruin goes up.
Like phoning into a ghost space station on
Possibly, we'll see.
Yeah. Okay,
then,
all right.
Or even if you use a ritual, I believe. So
Okay.
that it also triggers a part of the roll. Let me see.
Okay.
And then we worry about the other two rolls as we get deeper into this, which are the reduction roll when your ruin gets a little too close to the edge. And then we have the contest roll. So if it ends up becoming PvP, it's like, that's where things get a little bit, excuse the pun, dicey.
All right. Okay. Cool.
I mean, so basically, since you're not really risking anything yet, I will say, if you want to see what you want to find, then you can go ahead and do so. Just tell me what you want to do, and then I'll let you know if you need a roll.
Yeah, I just want to do a quick scan of the bands and see if we can find anything. Maybe I stumble upon a code that'll help Gerry unlock the door, rather than us forcing our way through this door.
Okay. So basically what you find is that, yes, you are able to lock into a particular signal onto the ship. But when you're trying to do that, though, you also see in nearby, you see a lone computer console flashing the words, "Password denied, password denied, password denied," repeatedly.
Okay. All right. So, Sue Ellen, you mind taking a look at that? I point over at the console.
I suppose I can do that.
Sorry, I'm not much for computers.
I'm a medic. Why do you expect me to know this much about computers anyway? And Sue Ellen, as she's sitting down next to this computer, she's kind of looking over her shoulder at Mark and typing. And I would like to use a ritual, push the button, which is instinctually operate a device to be able to just get into this, the back end wise.
Perfect.
Why do you think I'm so good at computers? Why do you just assume, and hacks the mainframe, that I'm just good at computers?
Now,
Remember, people, we've got limited supplies, and power cells for these arc welders are very expensive. So if you can get it open, I would really appreciate it, because I'm very broke.
So, I'm going to say this is a risk roll, because what you're doing is you're also trying to tap in to open up the door. But if you do it wrong, you might open up the other door, which is where you came in, and depressurize and have you all sucked out into space. I already told you what the worst could happen to go wrong, and there you go. So,
glad we're establishing the stakes. Okay, cool.
Well,
cool.
yeah, pretty staked right here. So you would do a light die for your occupation or background.
I would say I am an android. So I think
Totally.
that's my light die.
Okay, and then you would definitely risk, since you're doing the ritual, you're
Yeah.
doing push the button, you're going to do a dark die as well.
Yeah.
Do we want to call Devil's Bargain, or was it enough that I mentioned it's like you're going to suck the rest of you all in space?
Listen, I'm always open for a devil's bargain.
Okay, okay, all
So
right. So, well, okay, so how Devil's Bargains work, Mike, is that you get another light die for accepting a Devil's Bargain, which me and the other players will offer you. And what that is no matter what, it always is prefaced with a no matter what, regardless of how you roll, this will happen. Okay? So it could be something mild or it could be something not so mild, but it will happen no matter what your roll looks like. Okay?
Okay.
So, offering a Devil's Bargain for this when you press the button and try to open up the airlock, I think that no matter what, you're going to hear whispers in your head.
spooky.
You won't necessarily know what they're saying, but you will start to hear whispers, and they won't leave you alone, no matter what.
Anyone else have a devil's bargain? So I have a couple to choose from.
I was gonna say an alarm goes off regardless of which door you open, blowing out
Ooh.
any attempt of like, oh, we're gonna sneak in, we're gonna be stealthy, it's gonna be good. No,
He was gonna blow the
absolutely
door
not.
open.
And
think-
we're trying to be subtle with hacking the door.
I think my devil's bargain is that no matter what, one of the lights on the dock security camera flicks on, and it's obvious that someone's watching us in the airlock from somewhere else in the ship.
Oh, these are all good. I think I'm gonna go with the alarm. I like that because if this is like an alien situation, yeah, that's gonna be bad.
Okay, so using the online die roller, hopefully everybody's logged into it. Let's see. You
Nice.
are.
I rolled a light 6.
Holy crap.
Double light 6.
I'm still a 5, so like you did good. All right, great. So you succeed, no problems, and yeah, you open up the door, and in Gerry's face, as he's kind of like looking like he's about ready to blow it open, it goes whoosh, and then slides.
See, I knew you could do it.
I'm sure it was just beginner's luck. And then the alarm starts.
Yep.
Ah,
Well, lead the way, Gerry.
Basically, what this does is that it creates this. You hear an alarm, but it sounds distant, as if it's not even on the same floor, the same deck, the same area as where it was activated. And then a slow blinking red light turns on, and you can't, because the ship is dark, you can't tell where it's coming from. And wherever it shines, it's bathing that area in a blood red color. And you hear nearby that red light is a voice. You have activated Palo, passive, artificial, listening, observer.
Is that normal?
Who knows? All these ships have these fancy self-defense mechanisms. I think what we really need to do is make it clear that this ship is under salvage and that we're going to be the ones that are going to salvage it, and that it shouldn't. I mean, the law's on our side, right? You know.
yeah. And if we could get access to that computer, it's a passive audio listening observer, then that means that we could use those audio logs to prove our claims. Makes perfect sense. And Sue could also help us in figuring out what exactly happened here. Why they put together the crew entirely.
As you say that, you hear the muttering again. And it's coming from one of the nearby bay doors.
We should get.
think Jerry's going to do that thing that's like a reflex from his security years of pulling his rifle out and saying, "Sir, I'm going to need to ask you to come out from the bay with your hands up."
Do you actually say that out loud?
Yes.
Okay. The muttering stops for a second, and then you hear distinctly from like the second bay door. You hear like a banging on it. It's like, you think you're gonna threaten me? You're not gonna threaten me at all. You try to get through that door, your head's coming off.
Sir, we are here to help. I am Medic Palmer. I'm happy to see to any problems or wounds that you or the rest of your crew have. How many of you are left?
Don't know, don't care. I don't know if you're human. I know you're probably all androids. Yeah.
Sir, I promise you that we are all humans.
I would like to step forward and say, you can trust us. Just come on out with Hive Mind. I would like to compel this person to come out calmly.
Okay. All right.
Computers can't handle. Guns? No. People I could deal with.
All right, excellent. So, again, 1 light die for your comms. I mean, occupation, definite languages, all that kind of stuff. So that's fine. And then you get the dark die because you're using a ritual. Now,
okay.
Devil's Bargain.
All right.
Or actually, wait, because I forgot to do this, and I always forget to do this, and it kills me. What do you think would go wrong?
Oh,
when you fail?
Dude comes out. Dude immediately like makes a beeline to attack me because I'm like, no. You two, no, this is not how you deal with somebody who's under stress. Me, self-help author, how are you bothered by this scenario?
Yeah, the negotiator gets blasted. Yeah, I mean, that sounds
100%. That's how this can go wrong.
Okay, gotcha. Now let's do that. Now let's talk about Devil's Bargain to get that other light die. So no matter what.
No matter what, he's pretty sure you're an android.
He talks way too good. No human would talk like this.
That's an AI talking.
All right. I like that. I'd like to hear what my other two options are if you guys have ideas.
I think no matter what, one of the restraining straps on a remaining amount of cargo snaps, and the whole room is filled with like even more floating boxes, and it's like a sea of like floating equipment that we can't see through.
That sounds good. And then no matter what, before I give you my no matter what question.
Okay.
Question. Your drive to install some software given to you by an Oculus operative. What's on it?
As in something that I, as a character, would know? Okay,
and you can fully make it up. You don't have to, like, you know.
Oh, I don't know if you would know this. It is a virus to clean up some security footage. I think Oculus knows exactly what's going on, and they need to cover it up something fierce.
Got it. Okay. So, no matter what, and this would be kind of like a weird hold as well, you are unable to find that drive or whatever way that you were planning on installing that software. When you get into an altercation with this person, you know.
I lose the drive?
You lose the drive.
Ooh. Amanda, what was yours again?
He's going to think you're an android.
I like that one. I like the paranoia, just this person being like, no, you're an android.
Sure.
All these people. Okay. Yeah. So I'll take 2 light die, 1 dark die.
Yes.
5.
Okay. That is with a complication. So you do succeed, but there's a complication. So you can either accept that, or you can try to re-roll with a dark die. Another dark die. So
I'm
2
good,
and 2.
I'm good to accept a complication here.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm going to give you the complication once you get this guy out in the open.
Okay.
All right. Is that, like, how do you narratively say that you get this guy to come out?
Talking in a nice, even self-help tone. You're in a desperate situation. You've been through a trying time, and we understand that. We're here to help. We have a medic. We have a mercenary who's skilled in defending not just us, but you. You don't have to worry anymore. You're safe. You can come out. Everything is fine.
You hear a couple of button pushes and some clicks. And then the panel door will slide open. And then you will see, I mean, obviously you're going to step the hell back, I would imagine. You see coming out from the shadows of this bay, a face, disheveled hair, dirty, like smudged face, eyes that look like they have not seen sleep for days, at the very least. And then right in front of their face is a laser pistol.
Oh, see? We're good. We're fine. You're good.
You need to step back now.
Understood. Taking a step back. See,
The hair
everything
is like
fine.
all over the face, yeah. So,
I think at that point, Jerry's got his rifle up. He's like, "Sir, if you raise that pistol, I'm going to have to drop you."
Okay. Everybody needs to calm down. And Sue Ellen holds up her medic bag, which clearly says medic on it, and points to the patch on her suit that clearly says medic on it. Okay. You need to put that down. You, Gerry, put it down. We're here to help.
I'll put it down when he does. Come on the count of 3. You know the drill, sir.
you're gonna shoot me if I see as I do it.
The man said he's not gonna hurt you. It's right. If you need protection, we'll protect you. Just put the gun down, sir.
He said he wasn't gonna shoot me. You're the one with the gun.
I'm gonna step between both of them, so that I'm in both lines of fire, because we're risk takers in this show. He's not going to shoot you because then he'd have to shoot me. We're all here.
We are so close to the airlock. Do you know what will happen if we start shooting guns here? They're going to go through the airlock, and then we're going to go through the airlock. Do you know what it looks like when a human being goes through a hole this big into space? Because I do.
She knows what she's talking about. She's the medic, in case you couldn't pick that up.
Yeah, this fella will, like, slowly, but he's still staring right at Gerry, starts to lower his weapon to the ground, kneeling down.
Nice and easy, Gerry. You can put your rifle down. I can't see behind me, but I'm going to trust that you're putting the rifle down.
Is Gerry putting the rifle down?
He says, "Kick it across the room. I'm lowering my rifle now. Don't make me regret it."
Don't make me regret it. And then he will, like, slowly slide it over.
There.
And Gerry
slowly
will lower
raise-
his rifle.
And then slowly raise his hands up. And then he
Alright.
starts to shiver uncontrollably as he collapses against the door.
Okay.
I'm gonna run to him and check his vitals.
Yup. Whew. Whew. Okay. All right.
Now, the hair's all in the face. And he's collapsed, and Sue Ellen is looking at him.
I think Sue Ellen calls behind her shoulder again and says, "Mark, sit down, knees up, head between the knees, deep breaths. You."
Yep. I'm gonna deep breaths. Wish I had a paper bag. All right.
And yeah, she's gonna start checking, his heart rate, his temperature, basic stuff, by touching him because, I assume we have some sort of like barrier outfit on. We're not going to
Yes.
walk into a ship we don't know what's happening because
Right.
what
But
about infections?
he doesn't have
and
any.
stuff?
He doesn't
Yeah.
have any
Perfect.
any
Yeah, I imagine I have like various medic tools in my little kit for taking
Mhm.
temperatures and such. And I think the first thing I do is I'm going to brush his hair out of his face with
And
my hand.
when you do that, everybody roll me a d6. I'm sorry, I didn't give you an option to do that, but I mean, like at the very least, it's like
Is that a ruin roll?
just roll, do a ruin roll. It's not a ruin roll. I'll just tell you that right now. It's just
Okay,
this is
no,
just
that's
because
cool.
I need a randomizer at this point. Did everybody do a ruin roll? I'm just like.
Mike hasn't. I didn't do a ruin roll. I did a risk roll, but
Okay.
same deal.
Sue Ellen, when you wipe the hair away from this guy's face, you do recognize him. Who is it?
He was actually one of the custodians for the ship. He was there to, clean up various messes, keep the place tidy, keep the place sparkling, because, if you're out in space, you want to make sure that there's not going to be a lot of bacteria, people getting sick, small spaces. You know how everybody gets sick on a cruise ship? It's even worse on a spaceship. So he's one of those like highly trained custodians. People call them the bug killers because they keep all the bugs out of things. This guy's name is John Williams.
Okay. Sure, why not?
I was thinking about space, which made me think about Star Wars, which makes me think about the Star Wars theme. So this is John Williams.
Excellent. All right. So not the John Williams, but John Williams.
Different
great.
John Williams, yeah.
Different John Williams. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you state it outright when you examine him, like, his name for the other two to hear?
Yeah, well, I don't care about the other two. John, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. I need you to open your mouth and say, ah.
How do I know you're not gonna put a probe in it?
Well, I mean, technically I am, and she's gonna pull out a thermometer, but it's a small one.
Sir, if you can trust that we're not gonna hurt you, you can trust her to do that. It's okay. Just let it go.
Fine. And
besides, all the stories we've ever heard about alien abductions, we've never found alien life, especially not the kind that probes. So, nothing to worry about.
He will open his mouth like very, very minimally, and then allow the thermometer to go in. And as he's doing that, and you are seeing his disheveled form, I mean, you can see his one suit overalls with the logo of the ship, of the Council and Allura on it. What do each of you think, seeing this individual brought down and being the only survivor? What does he represent to you in your old lives?
I think Sue Ellen's comment about aliens reminds Gerry of the fact that there was his planet, his colony world was completely wiped out by some unknown creatures, and it was just empty, of people, emptied out, and the people that were off planet were the only ones that survived. So it just has this memory of that.
So Alan is thinking about the fragility of human bodies and how sad it is that humans can't go to space by themselves. They need androids because humans are too fragile to manage this kind of travel alone. And yet their egos are so fragile, they can't handle knowing when there's androids around because the androids are better than them at basically everything. And how annoying it is that also androids need humans. It's one of those symbiotic relationships that's irritating.
Mark's just a little bit disgusted just by how shaken this person is. Like, get yourself together, man. Like, if only you had signed up for my book. I have helped people who have struggled with this sort of stuff, but it's not out of any sort of like, oh man, let's help everyone to get better. It's just like, why can't you all be better? Just be better.
And while you're all thinking these thoughts, John Williams will settle down, and the suddenness of coming upon you and you coming upon him, and the realization that he has not been without sleep for many days and without food and water, he collapses on the ground next to the door, and you register some vitals that are just off the charts, because again he's emaciated and not doing well physically. What do you do?
Can I haul him to the infirmary? There's got to be an infirmary.
Yeah, there's an infirmary. I mean, I would imagine that you're given like some sort of like schematic of the ship, or you can call one up. That's fine. And then like you'd know that the infirmary is like probably a few decks away, actually. If you want, if you want to bring them there.
Can you give me a hand here, Gerry? Help me get this guy down to the infirmary.
You can't just call me Gerry, you don't have to use my whole name every time. It gets a bit unnerving after a while. All right, self-help guy, come on, help me carry this unyielding body. Let's go. Move it.
Yes.
Move it.
I'll try and help as much as I can. Minimal contact with this disheveled, emaciated person. Ugh, it's the right thing to do, but damn if it isn't uncomfortable. All right. Yes, let's go.
As you're trying to move John Williams, he will sort of like fade back into consciousness for a few seconds, but doesn't open his eyes, and he just kind of raises like a very limp hand and then points in the distance and says, the truth can be found on the bridge. And then he goes unconscious.
Yes. The truth can be found on the bridge. He's delirious.
Well, it's where the computer is, so obviously, it's not sinister at all, is it? Come on.
You said that he had a gun that had been slid away?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he slid that like away, I guess, towards Gerry, because Gerry was the one that asked him to do it.
Yeah, Gerry, I'm gonna pick up the pistol and show it to Gerry just to show that he's not the only one with a weapon.
You ever fired one of those, Mark? You don't look like a man who's fired a pistol.
Well, no, but I imagine it's not that hard if I'm right up close to someone, right?
Just remember, it's you point the barrel end at the enemy.
Point the barrel end and pull the little clicky thing. Got it.
And then I'll do that cliche of saying, "Oh, and the safety's off." Oh.
When you two are finished with your urination contest, I will see you in the infirmary.
Okay. I mean, we're still carrying Mr. Williams.
Yeah, she's kind of stomping on ahead.
Powering through. Let's go. Lady on a mission. All right.
Yeah.
As you
a bit of banter. So go on.
As you're making your way to the infirmary, you think about what you think has happened to this ship after seeing John and trying to figure out like why it went dark. And how do you expect to be received by the council when you emerge with answers? So consider this on the way to the infirmary. What do you think happened to the ship? And I ask you each individually this. And how do you expect to be received by the council when you get back. And also, I mean, I will say, Mike, that this is the opportunity to start thinking about how your drive brings you here and affects your decisions.
I have an idea.
Okay, go for it.
Android Uprising, just like a sleeper agent program, androids went and started doing some really shady stuff to normal people, which is why Mr. Williams here is very antsy about literally anyone being an android, myself included. And I think Oculus knows about it. I think Oculus is 100% behind the fact that there's a sleeper android program. I'm here to help cover it up. And I am willing to cover all these tracks so that I can get a book deal.
That's so shitty. I love it.
Dude, I did not expect how bad this dude was. We're like, what? 10?
You're basically
10
Dr.
minutes.
Smith, are you? You're Dr. Smith, so
Yeah.
God,
I'm just gonna
great.
sell out humanity.
I'm selling out this shit. I don't care.
Yeah, it's fine. But I mean, like, it's just lovely for someone who has not played this game and has not had experience with it before. You're fitting in fine. It's wonderful.
Yeah, diving in head first.
I love it.
And I
so
believe that
beautiful.
the council will be at once skeptical until we provide actual material evidence that things went wrong. And they're like, okay, we need to cover this up as much as possible. How much hush money do you want? At least that's what Mark is hoping for. He's hoping for a big paycheck at the end of all this.
Nice. Well, not nice, but you get my idea.
Sue Ellen thinks that what happened to this ship was an alien virus. This is some sort of thing, microscopic virus or bacteria that has infected this ship and caused, well, probably a lot of death and such, or so she hopes, because she wants to find this virus and isolate it, bring it back. She doesn't really care too much about the council because she's part of the uprising.
I think Gerry, when younger, was like a career sort of military security type, with sort of gleaming eyes and a crew cut. But now he's just this like deeply cynical middle-aged man who's come to the opinion that like space is just fundamentally antithetical to human life. And sometimes he looks at photos of, like Earth from centuries ago and just wakes up with this profound sense of sort of melancholy and thinks, well, if this isn't the thing that kills me, it'll be some other fucking thing tomorrow. And he's like, whatever it is, I'm just going to finish my contract, get paid, and hopefully the next one won't be so shit.
Oh, this is going to be so bleak.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. No, this is great. So, as you get to, or near, I should say, as you get near the infirmary deck, you start feeling as if your limbs are heavy. You are wearing like grav boots to counteract the systems that aren't working, like the gravity well. So, you feel even heavier, almost as if your gravity system in your suit has started to malfunction. And you feel weighted even inside your suit. Go ahead and take a ruin roll, everyone. So everybody should be fine, right? Okay, wonderful. Oh, Hugh is right. Love it. Oh, Hugh is fine too. I mean, Pew or Oh Hugh, I mean, it's same diff. So.
For anybody watching, I spend a lot of time during games chatting in the chat and making terrible jokes.
It's fine. It's perfectly fine. And also, like, speedy typing will also cause some very strange text errors, so it's beautiful. So, we now exit ring 1. And we're going to take a 10-minute break right now, and then we will come back and then enter Ring 2. Okay? So we're back, and we find our characters going down the hallway. Sue Ellen in front, walking determinedly towards the infirmary, knowing that she's going to treat her patient. And then the other two trailing behind, carrying this unconscious body of this disheveled stranger, who seems to be the only survivor at this point, as you can tell. Now, going down the hallway, the red light, which was on in the distance when you were, after you opened up the hangar door into looking at the bays, it seems to be almost hovering, but you know that's not true because it looks like it's affixed to the wall. But every single time that you look towards it, you see that it almost seems to follow you, like there are numerous actual bulbs of this light that seem to follow. And it's almost like it's guiding you in a way, but that's impossible because it has no idea where you're going. But in one of these light pools, you see, Sue Ellen, what look like footprints. Bloody footprints leading to a door.
Do we have a method of communication between each other? I imagine some sort of walkie-talkie or high-end space walkie-talkie.
Space walkie-talkie sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to get on the space walkie-talkie and say, there's bloody footprints out here. I think there's probably another person and or body around. So just keep your eyes out for anybody who might be fallen in a corridor or something like that. Let me know.
So Ellen, you know, I'm probably supposed to go first in these situations, right? Just because
She's already far ahead of you. You're carrying this body with Mark.
I'm just saying, if you encounter the source of the footprint and you don't like it, it's not my problem because I'm not supposed to be the one carrying the body. I'm supposed to be the one scouting out ahead. But we've had this conversation many times before, and I'm not going to rehash it.
She could have at least taken the gun.
And I think, yeah, Sue Ellen gets back on the walkie-talkie and says, Mark, you know I'm against guns.
Yes.
I'm a pacifist.
Fortunately, bullets aren't pacifists, Sue Ellen. Bullets are not pacifists in this world.
1 second. I like that statement suggests that there are worlds where bullets are pacifists. And I just want to speculate on that for a second. Yeah, it's great. So getting to the infirmary, I'm just going to go in.
No knocking, no checking, no doors and corners, just soup.
No one watching me. I don't have to pretend to be a human when there's no humans watching.
The red light flicks on in the corner. Passive, artificial, listening, observer, on.
We can do something about that. I've got something in my pocket that I stole off military intelligence. It's very good for, making you disappear when you need to.
You mean the listener?
Yes. Whatever passive, creepy AI this thing has. Too high tech for its own good, but I have some intruder countermeasure electronics here that I could try.
That sounds like a good thing. We might need that once we get to the darn. I was gonna call it the cabin, the place that they drive, the bridge. Thank you. Once we get to the bridge, maybe there's probably some sort of security system we need to override.
I wouldn't worry too much about it. It's probably just a built-in system on the ship. Do I see anything? Do the lights come on when I walk in? Can I see in the dark since I'm an android?
Do you see in the dark since you're an android?
Yes, but my eyes light up like flashlights to do it.
Ooh.
So I don't do it all the time. I can turn it off.
A cue. Right. I think that's a cue. I mean, if you want to see in the dark at this point, I mean, you can. But again, the one red light in the corner will turn on, and that voice comes on to let you know that Paulo is listening.
I was listening, maybe not watching. Flashlight eyes on.
Okay.
Passive audio listener, observer. Yep. Audio.
Yep. And so the other two are probably taking a little tiny bit to get there because they're carrying the body. And let's see.
Yeah, I just want like a quick glance around the room
Okay.
to catch whatever sort of information I can glean in a quick look.
What you find is you see a body in the corner, the furthest corner of this infirmary. Now, mind you, no lights have come on when you entered. They should, because that's normally like an automatic system. But there's the point of the systems malfunctioning anyway, so they may not be activating when they should. But you, through your flashlight eyes, do see a body over in the corner.
I'm going to turn my flashlight eyes off so that when the other two come in, they don't see that. Completely guess my disguise. And I'm going to hustle over to this body. Check vitals.
Well, what it looks like is as you get closer, it's almost like behind one of those transparent panels, like for privacy, like in these cubicles or what have you. So
Yeah.
It's in the furthest one. And when you get closer, you realize it's not lying down, nor is it standing completely up. It looks like it's on like an angle, like supported.
Can I see what it's supported by?
Yeah, it's what would essentially be one of those tables that has the pneumatic lever, right? So it's like it's one of those, and it's probably at a, I don't know, 45 to 30 degree angle.
Does it look like this person? So this plastic sort of display thing that they're in, I'm thinking like a display case, is it like a box? Are they inside of it, or is it like a wall, like a cubicle?
I'm going to say it's a wall, like it's a cube, like a half wall, like a cubicle.
Yeah.
But I mean, it goes all the way to the ceiling. It's just half in the terms of like it doesn't go all the way out. It's just more like Mm-hmm.
Is there a way in?
Yeah. I mean, just go around and see.
I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna go around and see. Oh, actually, before I go around and see, looking at this person, can I recognize them?
Yes, you do. It is an unclothed version of Gerry.
Our Gerry.
Your Gerry. Eyes closed. Naked. Yeah.
I'm gonna get on the space walkie-talkie and say, gentlemen, you might want to wait outside a moment. Medical emergency.
Does this medical emergency mean I can't dump John onto the table?
Just prop him up against the wall out there. He'll be fine. Just don't come in yet.
Don't tell me twice. The moment she says that, I am ready to just dump this dude in the middle of the hallway, not even right outside the infirmary. Just,
You know, I'm responsible for the security arrangements of this mission.
And I'm responsible for the medical situation on this ship and for this crew. I have not priority.
authority.
Authority. Yes, thank you. I'm like, what's the hierarchy here? I have authority in this matter, and you have to listen to me. Stay out.
Fine, I got business out in the hallway, and he's gonna like look up at the camera and say, "You're going down." Is it Palo? Is it
Palo? Yeah,
Palo.
You're going down, Palo. I don't like your weird little beady eye on us all the time. It's gonna be a super user routine shutdown for you, sir.
Radio is still on. That's okay. Where's the nearest security office adjoining the or is there one that's close to the infirmary?
Um, from your schematic that you remember, I mean, you see that there's security offices like in regular intervals around the decks, but I mean, you know, they're not necessarily near the infirmary per se.
Mm,
Like
okay.
they're more like booths, you know, like if like you had regular guards or what have you going around the ship, then they would be like, you know, stationed at the booths. But
Maybe they have a terminal or something that
yeah, yeah, I mean
Gerry
like
could
sure.
do work his little hacker magic against Paulo.
Absolutely, if you can try, sure.
Well, I mean, if Sue
And then
Ellen has all of this under control, I see no reason why we can't settle our score with Paulo.
She wants to deal with the corpses. That's fine with me. I've seen enough corpses to last a lifetime.
Why don't you tell
Um,
me about that?
I don't need you to psychoanalyze me, Mark. I've got plenty. I've got plenty of things
You
to be
are a
getting on
grown
with.
man and you can handle your own problems. I'm just trying to make some light small talk as we go through whatever this mess is.
as
But I
you
read. Sorry, go on.
as you go down the hallway arguing or bantering, whichever it is,
It's hard to tell at this point.
you see the bloody footprints up ahead, lit in one of the very dim pools of light. And it seems to go down the hallway and then turn off down one of the tunnel hallways.
I
You don't
take
remember seeing them before.
I take a single step back and do a gentle sweeping motion forward after you.
Just as well I'm the one with the guns, right, Mark? I'll just pull out my rifle and say, let's go find an access terminal.
Hoorah, I say in the most even deadpan tone possible.
I mean, do you
Nope.
point out? Well, I mean, like, do you point out to each other about the bloody footprints, or you just?
I figured we're following the bloody footprints. I
Yeah,
look at the bloody footprints,
wait,
I point at them, and I take a step back. He can
yeah,
go ahead, not
I
me.
think Gerry is studiously trying to avoid stepping in the blood, but is following it with his gun up, like looking for a sort of an access terminal to put his little stolen military ice chip into it.
And as you're going down this hallway, um, this is a very strangely lit hallway. It's almost like, well, again, it's like a tunnel, and you can see like the oval doors like leading off to the sides, like in on alternating pattern.
Mhm.
Um, and you can see the bloody footprints as you're going ahead, Gerry, but somehow they're disappearing as you're going up ahead. And then you hear a shoom behind you.
The door's shut behind me, hasn't it?
It's down this hallway, yes. There is now a wall where you had seen an open hallway. You don't see any sign of Mark.
Well, now I'm definitely going to have to interfere electronically with the ship. And then he's going to like look at the camera again and say, I know what you're doing. I know what you're trying to do. It's not going to work.
Mark, as you're
Yes.
trying to follow Gerry, it's like, and you're falling behind for some reason. Because you gasp for breath as if though your oxygen is leaking, but your suit does not show any leaks. You can almost hear the hiss in your ear, as if it's letting out some air. But when you look at your gauges, when you look at your console, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with your suit. But you can hear it. And then
It's
as
like,
you're fiddling with your console, pshoo, the wall seals behind in front of you, separating you from Gerry.
okay, okay, I'm fine. I'm good. We take this moment. We self-center, recenter. And I try the radio. Gerry? Sue Ellen? Okay. Hang up. Okay. All right. There's another way around. This is fine. I'll pull up the schematic and see if there's another way to the nearest security terminal where Gerry and I said that we would meet up.
When you do the schematic and pull it up, like behind you instead of in front of you, you notice, like, any one of the doors that's on the right-hand side will actually lead you off to one of the nearby security terminals.
Perfect. Pull
It's
out
dark.
my pistol.
Yep, it's dark down there.
Do I have a helmet flashlight or
Yes.
something else?
Oh yeah, you still have that.
Good. All right. Pull out this pistol. Make sure the safety is off, as I was told by our chief security officer, and I will slowly make my way forward, listing chapter titles.
Yep. So, Mark, go ahead and mark condition of whispers.
Okay.
Yep. And let's go back to Sue Ellen. So, what do you do now that you see this body of Gerry?
I want to examine this body. Is this a human body? What is this? Very intrigued.
As you get closer and you examine it, you realize it's an android form of Gerry. Very close. Looks human. Feels human. Down to, well, I mean, like, we're not going to get into the unclothed part of it, but I mean, like, for what you've seen of Gerry, what you've physically seen of Gerry.
Yeah.
What's a discerning trait on Gerry's face or arm?
He's got a tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow this android also has the same tattoo. And looking in and inspecting it, it looks like what ink under layers of skin would look like.
Mm-hmm.
It's outstanding.
It is very outstanding. If you happen to open the eyes, though, because obviously the eyes are closed, but if you lift up the lid,
Which I will.
yeah, you see that it's kind of like a readout instead. It's like made of like pixelations that are running across the eyes, almost as if somebody did not finish making this android complete, which is why it's still asleep.
Can I use robotic intuition to fix it?
Sure.
And wake it up?
If you want to.
I do want to.
Okay. As you're doing this, though, before we make the roll, I want to ask. I'm going to ask each of you. As you're making your way down each hallway and doing what you're going to be doing, what does your character fear? Sue Ellen, since you're working on the android, it's like, what do you fear? What is your biggest fear?
Oh man. What would an android fear? Actually, you know what? I'm amazed at the technology involved here, at the creation of this android that is, like, I look and act human, but this is amazing. This is technology beyond what I've ever seen or imagined. And now I am worried about becoming obsolete.
All right, so before we get to your role, I'm going to ask the others too. Gerry, as you're making your way down this hallway, chasing after bloody footprints that seem to be disappearing in front of you, what are you thinking about? What does Gerry fear? biggest fear that he has?
I think Gerry ultimately fears that the human race is like an endling species, and that essentially there's just fewer and fewer every decade, century, and that basically this like if this is another AI incident, then it's another example of the emergence of something that will destroy or replace the human race, and he's basically worried that and on his home world he'll just be the only one left.
And Mark, going down this dark hallway towards the security station, following your schematic. And breathing.
Meaninglessness in his life, mediocrity. He highly values like his individualism, like his excellence, and he thinks that like if I can do it, you can do it too. And the idea that like maybe his failure wasn't necessarily because he had like people didn't want to listen. Maybe it's just because he's mediocre and he doesn't really have anything interesting or important to say.
Damn, Mark, you got some serious imposter syndrome going down. Shit, can't relate. Okay, I got you. Got you, man. Even in a horror game, I'm just horrible because it's like I respond, you know?
Yeah, no, 100%. The dude is arrogant as all get out, very self-centered, but also underneath it, like, but what if they're right?
Yeah, what if they're right? Exactly.
You're right.
I hear
James, you're absolutely right. 3 distinct flavors of ennui.
Oh, I gotta write that down. Holy crap. 3 distinct.
That's a really good subtitle.
It really is. Holy crap.
Have you considered that maybe humanity is just a dying spark? What if my book was actually bad?
There will be no more humans left to read it. There will be no more humans left to read it.
Just the different scales we're dealing with.
Yes, exactly. So, there you go. All right, so. Sue Ellen, let's have you roll before I see what else everybody else is doing.
Okay, I've lost a little bit of track because I was looking at a different thing. I was playing on Midjourney again while we were talking. I'm just
How are you not? How did you? Are you paying past the trial now? Is that what you are? Are you on a? Paid
Oh yeah, it was only like $10, and I'm like, yeah, I'll throw $10 at this. Is great.
Okay. Well, that's because I have tons of subscriptions per month, so that's why I'm like,
oh yeah, I
can't really do that right now. Okay, so.
Yeah, I have very few.
Anywho. All right, so okay, brain does not want to work. Okay, so light die for anatomy, apothecary. Yeah, absolutely. So you get that for your occupation. And then your dark die comes from using robotic intuition, okay? Now, devil's bargain. Well, actually, what do we think can go wrong first if she fails? So
then I
fix or
won't fix
disable.
him, and I won't have a friend.
That's the mild version.
I think the obvious one is the body, just like the autonomic nervous system just activates, and like without the mind being activated, and just comes after you.
This is not devil's bargain yet, by the way. This is just like
things that could go wrong.
Things can go wrong, yeah.
I think it comes back in a way you don't intend.
And now we do devil's bargain. So no matter what, to get the other light die. Oh, and mind you, like Mike, just so you know, like just because we offer devil's bargains doesn't mean you have to take them.
Okay.
All right.
Good,
so
good to
But
know.
it's always really fun to take them.
It's always really fun to take them. We take them just because we like them.
Yeah, I figured.
But yeah, so no matter what, you know.
I have a twist.
Oh, we like
so. It's not that somebody didn't finish building this thing. I think they managed to disable it, and I think it's infected with something. I think by you interfacing with it, you get infected with something.
I mean, I had something, but I was like, that sounds so cool. But that's just me.
I think mine is no matter what. When you work on the body, your concern about becoming obsolete actually triggers a hidden like subroutine that you have that makes you obsessed with upgrading yourself, and you take a condition that basically your OS is like obsessively trying to like upgrade itself, and you seek out ways of upgrading yourself.
That's cool too. Oh my God, this is so cool. Okay, mine's gonna sound lame in comparison, but when you, no matter what, you will interface with this thing and discover, whether it turns on or not, that you are interfacing with a new species. This is what you've been searching for. But what ends up happening with that information will be up to you.
Mission accomplished.
Not quite.
Game over.
Game. Oh, you did it! You got your drive. You just get back on the ship and you leave.
I
Right?
mean, all of those Devil's Bargains sounded perfect. I mean, I don't know how you're going to make a choice.
Hooray,
but-
I won Trophy Dark.
Yes, hooray!
Yeah, I think I want to go with, they're all really good.
They are.
I think I want to go with the obsessed with upgrading myself.
Oh, so good.
Just because that is such a creepy way of really leaning into that sort of imposter syndrome thing that we were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like that. And in the isolation of space, people do weird things. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So,
so what was the condition, the name that I should call this? What do you guys think?
let's call it upgrade enabled.
I was gonna just say upgrade.
Oh, upgrade enabled is great. I love
Yep.
that.
Gotta get an upgrade.
Mm.
I love it.
All right, so
Lucky for me, there's a self-help person right on this ship.
all
I'm here
go-
for it.
Yeah, so 2 light, 1 dark.
Yeah.
Okay, you go up by 1 for the ruin. That's for sure.
So for the people who can't see my dice, which is everyone that's not us, I rolled 6 dark. So let me just pop that little ruin in there.
So ruin, excuse me, her ruin is less than that, so her ruin goes up by 1.
My ruin is now 4.
Yeah, getting ever closer to that territory.
That's fine.
yeah.
That's what happens when you start with 2 rituals.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, that's the part of the fun. I don't
Yeah,
care.
no regrets.
No regrets. Absolutely none. But just remind me. So if she gets, let me see. Yeah, so the highest die basically is the 6. So so you get a success. You do fix this thing. Do you flip a switch, or how does this look narratively? I would like to know.
I think you were right in saying that this was not finished. But it wasn't because it was so difficult to finish. It was, impossible. It just never, the last few finishing touches never really happened. Connecting a couple of wires, closing up a couple of panels and screwing them in. The tools were all right here.
Mhm.
And I think she just finishes off those last few bits. And it's not really a switch so much as when you close the final panel, everything sort of activates.
And when it activates, it's like I think you see that the eyes flutter open. And when they flutter open, it's almost like watching little tiny TV screens like flicker to life and then flick into what look like eyes. Perfect HD eyes.
Who made you?
Or 4K, sorry. And the figure of Gerry, the android of Gerry, looks at you. Do I have a maker?
You must.
Contemplates it for a minute. I'm not sure. When it first kicked on to life, it's like there was like some kind of weirdness with the voice because it was still trying to find itself. But then it latched on to some program that has a voice sample of Gerry and now sounds like Gerry.
That's not so unusual. I think Llewellyn kind of expected that. If they're going to replicate people, they're going to do it right. You're something different. You're something advanced.
Nods their head.
There are many things that you can do that I can't do.
Smiles. And
Who
winks.
made you?
And this is where it will say, in Gerry's voice, but a little bit more robotic because it knows it knows that you are also of the same type. It will say, now if I told you, then that would make it more even, wouldn't it?
What else is around in this lab? I assume it's a little lab because he was being made here.
Yeah.
Anything like a chainsaw?
Chainsaw?
Yeah, just those things that you have in a medical
Just
lab
those
for
things.
quick surgeries.
Bone saws. Bone saws exist.
There's a difference between a bone saw and a chainsaw.
Yeah. I'm an android. They're basically the same thing to me.
True. Well, they're very, well, this is futuristic for sure. And,
Like a laser?
Yeah,
It's
basically
a laser
it's like,
chainsaw.
like they all look the same, right? Because they all have the same, like, base. Yeah, so they look like a rod with a handle on it. But then, like, depending on how you flick it or switch it, then it will turn into the bone saw, or it will turn
cool.
into the jigsaw or whatever,
Okay.
for the tool.
All right. Since I know he works and I know he works well, and he's not giving me any information, I'm going to chop off his head.
Interesting. He will move away from the platform that he's levered on and look down at himself and say, I need to be clothed.
Oh, I don't think you need to worry about that too much. Pulling out the laser knife.
Okay. Alrighty.
I do want to cut his head off.
Okay. If you'd like. All right, so definitely risk roll here.
Yeah, he's this upgraded thing. I can take his parts.
Just start cobbling them together. All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to make sure he'd work. So this is did we say a risk?
Oh yeah, definitely
Okay.
a risk roll. Are you using anything? I mean, I'm assuming you're going to use robotic intuition again?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely use robotic intuition. I think also my background as an android, and I just fixed this guy, I have a better understanding of how to take down an android than
Sure.
the average non-android.
Absolutely. So I will definitely say, you're good with all that. So between your occupation and background, you get the 1 light die. Regardless of how many skills and occupation and background fall into it, Mike, like we only get 1 light die for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then the dark die will be from using a ritual of robotic intuition again. And then your other light die comes from a devil's bargain. But let's talk about how it could go very, very wrong first when you roll badly. So, how would it go wrong?
He gets away.
He gets away.
Gets away is good.
Yeah.
Like we have a naked android with all of
Gerry.
Gerry's skills, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to make it worse, I mean, like, he probably disarms you and then like will take out one of your parts with
Wow.
the thing, and then
Rude.
leave, and then
Yeah.
leave to cause havoc elsewhere in the ship.
think my just to add to like a version of that for the devil's bargain, he runs off, but after you've taken the head off, that's going to be my devil's bargain. So like,
Oh, that's so good. I think a thing that could go horribly, horribly wrong too is some sort of blue screen situation where bits just stop working on either of us.
Yeah, I'll say that. Yeah.
Are we proposing devil's bargains yet, or is this
Now
Please.
now we're proposing devil's bargains. No matter what.
Headless Gerry is one.
Headless Jerry's one.
I was just adding it in there while the context was there, but that was mine. Yeah.
Okay.
And I liked the what could go wrong already, so I don't have any to add.
no matter what? Paolo captures you assaulting a humanoid with medical tools. But you meant at Mads, you'd previously mentioned that there's a privacy screen. So
Yes.
we can't tell that it is a naked android copy. It just looks like Sue Ellen is going to town on a possible person.
Yes.
And she just said, "Don't come in here. It's a medical emergency."
Right. Exactly.
Oh, I like that. I think I'm gonna take that one.
Yeah, I don't have anything to beat that. That sounds
Yeah.
so damn good. Oh my god. Holy crap.
So to clarify, we're saying that basically one of us will re-encounter Sue Ellen at a point where it looks like she's murdering a human being.
Yep.
Is that right?
Or like, something is going to flash on the screen because remember, the systems are still malfunctioning around here. So
Oh,
maybe
okay, yeah, I get you.
inconveniently you see a screen showing this footage.
Oops.
Scandal.
Yeah. We found the security office, and why is it just playing Sue Ellen murdering someone on loop? I don't like this. This is uncomfortable for me.
I just rolled. I got
Yeah.
a 6 dark.
What the fringe, man?
Why are you surprised? It's me.
So how does this work?
Okay, so she succeeds to break this
'Cause
thing
I got
down.
a 6.
Right,
Okay.
because the highest die is
highest
the
one is
6. You succeed. However, because it's a
Hooray.
dark die, if your ruin, if this is higher than your ruin, if the dark die roll is higher than your ruin
And it's
ruin
a
goes up
6.
by 1. She is
Okay.
now at 5.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
are completely ruined at 6.
Yeah.
And we haven't left ring 2 yet.
Nope.
Okay. So what happens at Ruin 5 now?
She can make a
the-
reduction roll. Okay, so this is when reduction rolls come into play.
Yeah.
However, what this means is this is the fun part of the game to us.
I
When
love trophy.
I do
Yay,
love trophy.
I'm wearing
I
my
do.
trophy shirt today even.
Oh, I forgot you. Well, I was in a different game, so I had to do something a little bit like more mild.
Yeah.
Oh, you suck.
Ah, shirt wins!
Damn it. Okay, so yeah, I didn't wear my trophy shirt because I forgot to change in between games. Anyway, so the pleasure of the reduction roll is that it will automatically lower your ruin no matter what. But two things happen. Depending on what the roll is for reduction, the others will know that you've betrayed them, because the second part of this is that you will need to betray them, or you will do some sort of betrayal to reduce your ruin.
Cool. All right.
Cool.
Cool. Good to know.
And some people, if they don't, or if they're hovering at ruin at like ring 5, which is the last ring or whatever, and then they're like, they get 5. Some of us don't care because then we know we're going to be lost or killed or whatever anyway, so it doesn't matter. But, I mean, this early in the game, yeah, you kind of want to reduce.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. How about we all yeah.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be doing that pretty soon.
Ruin 5 on ring 2 is awesome. Yes, it is. Holy shit. I don't even remember if you did this like in our Flocculent Cathedral game, but
No.
hey, this is awesome.
This might be the worst I've ever done, which is saying something.
It's saying a lot.
Or is it Is it the best you've ever done?
I mean, that is a great point, and I'm going to suggest that it's both. Both are good. Okay, so man, it's been so long since I've done a reduction roll. How do I do that?
Okay, so reduction roll is basically should be just hitting reduction.
Yeah, it's a single. Yeah.
Okay, rolled a 1. If this is less than your current ruin, your betrayal goes unnoticed. Ah, and you decrease your ruin by 1. So lower your ruin back down to 4.
Yeah.
And then now you have to figure out, while I deal with the other 2, how you want to betray them.
Awesome.
Now, when you're disabling this bot, think about how you're going to do that and possibly screw over your companions. But while we're doing that, we're going to go back to Gerry, okay?
Perfect.
Okay. So, Gerry, you're following these footprints. And it's leading you down this corridor where it starts to look like there are things torn out, like as if panels were being forcibly torn out from the walls. And there are torn power cords everywhere. And you're trying to make your way through them, I would imagine, even though the footprints are literally disappearing away from you. Like you're following them and they're disappearing as they go. Do you think about that? Do you remark upon that at all to yourself?
That maybe the bleeding is lessening. I mean, I could do like an investigation. Like, I have investigation as one of my skills, so I might do a bit of good old-fashioned sort of cop sleuthing as I go along.
Okay.
Before I find the security center, I want to
Sure.
like hack into it and get rid of this annoying, obtrusive AI that's like spying on me.
Okay. So you're definitely doing a risk on this one, but using your investigative skill, so that's fine. That's 1 light. Are you using? You're not using your ritual yet, right?
No, I think I'm gonna, if I can, I'm gonna opt to start without a dark die if that's an option in this.
That is an
particular-
option. That is totally an option. My question to you is, how do you think this can go wrong?
I think the obvious one is that basically some kind of, there's like a something, I get exposed to vacuum or something like blows out or some kind of huge system failure happens just as I go past it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not, am I even allowed to say that actually? I know it's only devil's bargains, but yeah, that would be what I was thinking. But.
Yeah, no, I mean that sounds very valid, and I would agree with that too. How could it go wrong for Gerry as he's trying to do like investigate as he's going down this hallway? Not devil's bargain yet, just investigate.
He gets confirmation of his worst fears. There is an AI. It is watching him. It is out specifically against him.
Yeah, I'm going for sorry. Sorry, Gerry. I think in this case it's like because of this possibility, I think we're going to have to call it like at least 1 dark die cuz you're risking your mind at this point. So skill covers your pardon. Skill covers the 1 light die. Risking the mind with the dark. Do we want to offer a devil's bargain in this case, no matter what? I want to say, let me see. Yep. I want to say that no matter what, because of what you're thinking, because of your fears, you will always see, in the most inopportune times, a dead body in your mind's eye, where the flesh is torn away, and it's going to reveal copper tubing and electronics in place of veins.
on like himself, or
No,
on other
just a dead. He's just gonna picture like a body, like any numerous dead bodies you've seen in your excuse me, your lifetime, and you will see one of them with copper and electronics in its place. I'm gonna call that condition, pardon, I'm so sorry, body electric.
You're not sorry and you know it. You just lied.
No further devil's bargains, Your Honor. I can see the point.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, go ahead and roll.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking that one. For sure. All
So,
right.
two light, one dark.
There we go. Oh, I got a 5 light,
Okay.
and I'll stick with that for sure. I'm not
Okay.
messing with the.
Right? It's like, I don't want to do that. Okay. All right. So you do succeed, and then you. Now, were you specifically trying to discover where the like an access point to be able to mess with the AI?
I think what I was trying to do is figure out, because you were talking about the attenuating footprints, is I'm
Yes.
basically on the trail of like what,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm hoping I can find the like a security terminal, but I'm also basically trying to do the kind of sleuthing thing.
Yeah. What happens is you do find one of the security booths. It leads you to a terminal, and as the footprints are disappearing in front of you, you're, seeing them disappear. As you're entering this booth, you see something in your peripheral vision, but you can't quite make it out. It looks humanoid, but you're not sure because every single time you turn your head to look at it, it's gone.
It could be one of those things where you just turn the flashlight on the rifle and this little flash
Yeah.
of movement disappears
Yes.
out of the beam of it.
Yeah. So, you're at the security terminal. You saw the flash of the humanoid. And now, again, at the most inopportune times, you will be seeing this body with the tubing and the electronics inside it. Let's flip over to Mark. All right. So, Mark, you're making your way down this hallway, and you also see, like, torn power cords. But this time, they're on the ground, and they're sparking. So they're creating some light, some intermittent light that you're able to see down this hallway. And you're following your schematic, which is telling you that you're nearing one of the security stations. You're not sure if it's the same one that Gerry's going to be at, but, at least you're going to be at a terminal at some point.
If anything, I can talk from one security terminal to another. That would make sense.
Exactly.
Surely things will be that easy, just to link one to the other.
More sparking catches your eye as you're looking at the schematic that's hovering in the hologram. And when you look down, you realize that the torn power cords are sparking and then moving like electrified snakes. And you can
Okay.
hear in the sparking as if they're hissing, and they're making moves towards you.
Yeah, is there another hallway I can run down?
Check your schematic. What do you think? Let's see.
I do not feel like tussling down a partially electrified hallway in these heavy mag boots when obviously I haven't been doing my cardio. I'm having trouble breathing. The self-doubt is getting to me right now really heavily.
Right. I'm going to say, for Amanda and James, please remind me, if we apply conditions, does that add to the dark die, or is it just like, it just affects? How does that?
I don't know if this is in both games, but I think the idea is that now if a condition is relevant to the roll, it basically it sort of mandates a dark die.
Okay. Mark ruin as the result of a risk roll. Help roll. Conditions.
I can't remember if that's I think that might be in the new trophy dark and new trophy gold rules, but I can't 100% remember. But it used to be like a bit less clear than that, but now it's like kind of mandatory.
Yeah,
I
the
just wanted.
the
Sorry.
character keeper just says like
You get them if you
and
if
you
get
role
ruined.
play it, but it
Yeah.
makes sense that it would force a dark die.
Yeah. So yes, I mean, if you're going to, I'm going to say that it would definitely whispers would definitely force a dark die on you, even if you weren't going to try and take one, because you are trying to get past these whispers in your head that now start to sound more distinct. It's like you thought you knew what you were doing. You're so foolish for that. You know you're just faking it until you make it, and you don't know if you're going to make it or not.
I'm definitely going to make it. I can make it through that hallway. It's just a bunch of cables. Please. So I'm going to jump through all of the electrified snakes at this point, being goaded by the voices in my brain. Let's go.
Okay, all right. So, light die for the just. I'm gonna say like, you're kind of like languages and symbols. 'Cause you're like trying to picture in your head. It's like, this is my success, da-da. And then your dark die is definitely because you're risking your body, in this sense.
I don't. Are you sure? Because according to occupation and background, I don't think either of those tie into my ability to dodge electric snakes. I think I need to take a devil's bargain to even get a single light die.
Okay, I'll accept that. I mean, I was kind of like trying to help you with that.
Oh yeah, 100%. No. But
maybe you're compelling yourself to act.
Ooh, no, that gives them a dark die.
Yeah, no, I thought that's why I was being forced to take a dark die like off the bat, because the whispers are the thing driving me to do this thing.
The dark die is
dumb thing.
The dark die is for using a ritual or risking mind and body.
So
or
then
both.
would I get
it would just be
two
one.
dark die?
No, I mean, in this case,
Okay.
it's just one.
Okay. What devil bargains do you guys have for me for jumping?
You just
into
want a
a
devil's
bunch of
bargain. That's all you want. Like, no matter what. Let's see. No matter what.
No matter what, I'm jumping into a bundle of electrified cables.
No matter what, you do get a little bit electrified, and it doesn't harm you, but it does mess a little bit with the software you're supposed to install.
Like, Cole, why would you do this to me?
Not
Okay.
destroying it, just messing with it.
My book deal, Amanda. My book deal.
I think my modification or my version of that is it infects the OS of your spacesuit.
Okay. All right. Do we
and
know what the implications of that is?
I imagine it starts crashing and it can't regulate your oxygen or your mag boots anymore.
Okay. All right. Okay. Mads, please give me something that isn't these two. Don't force me to choose between these two terrible options.
But they're supposed to be terrible options. They have to no matter what.
Come on, Mads. Come on. You gotta give me something.
All right. So let's see. Oh, but you can choose none. You can choose none. That's very true. I'm just trying to think of like what my no matter what would be.
You just don't get a dice.
Just guaranteed ruin. Let's go.
Hey, I mean, actually, you know what? Because this is kind of a moment. I mean, like, I could just call it a ruin roll and then see what you get.
I mean, I am being driven by my condition to go and engage actively with the animated Event Horizon-esque alive ship at this point.
Let me see.
Either way, the end result is going to be the same.
Yeah, James. I mean, like, I've seen Risk 1-1 before, so that I mean, that's as far as I knew that was okay. So
Oh.
I mean, if we just want to like float that's fine. I mean, I'm.
I
But
was
I
just
can
being-
I can pop into the trophy Discord and ask.
Oh
I was
gosh.
just being
Hey,
no. I was just
somebody
being
who doesn't have any expertise or background in dodging
just-
snakes is
Yeah.
facing snakes. Do they get a light die?
I
Yeah.
was just being sarcastic. I mean, you can absolutely do a risk 1/1. It's just not not amazing.
Are you asking? I just out of curiosity. I'm just like wondering if you are. You know. Let me see. I'm just trying to think because I'm trying to figure out how I want to play this because it could be just a plain old straight ruin roll, but you are kind of like taking a risk. So
I am.
feel like
Because I'm not witnessing or undergoing something disturbing. Like this
it's
is
damn
just me-
dangerous.
this is me being a dumbass, is what it is.
You're convincing yourself to be a dumbass.
100%. And I
Oh
think that's appropriate for the self-help author being goaded.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Holy crap.
So I think I'm just gonna roll just with the dark die. I do not like either of these devil's markets options. One
I
is
like-
like, hey, your air stops working, and the other one is your drive probably isn't gonna work out.
Hold on, let me see. There's just something I wanted to.
What were you
Oh,
gonna say,
wait.
Amanda? Sorry.
Oh, I like how the theme of this is because all trophy games have it, or incursions have a theme. The theme of this one is secrets, and we're turning it into crippling insecurity.
Crippling insecurity. That's a secret, you know? I mean, it's fine.
The secret is self-doubt.
Hold on,
So-
hold on. Like I'm trying to figure out I really want to tie it into to your fear. I feel like no matter what, you will give yourself an earworm of a dark version of your
Self-help
philosophies?
mantras.
yeah. So you're
Alright.
going to give yourself like I think no matter what, from now on, when you try to give yourself like a pick me up out of your own philosophies, you're going to be able to turn that into a negative
Okay.
to make it worse for yourself.
Like self-sabotage?
Self-sabotage.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Okay.
I'll take that. All right. Is that
I
a
like
condition?
That would be a condition, yeah.
I would like to add that you have
Self-deactualization.
how about I would
God.
like to add to that just so that it's not, completely ruinous constantly. I
Mhm.
think it's more like a compulsion that you have to fight against. And then you can do a die roll to fight it.
Okay.
That is my suggestion, but Mads is the leader of the pack, the captain of this ship.
Sinking ship. This
Okay.
dead in the water
Where
ship.
are all these rats going? Weird.
They're jumping. And again, you don't have to take any of the devil's bargains, period. You can just roll and say, yeah, whatever.
Well, I like the self-sabotage just because between lady who has to upgrade to not be obsolete and sir visions of body horror, my conditions are literally I'm just in my head too much.
Which,
yeah.
like, mood?
Mood. Total mood. Holy crap. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
And I said
so
I wasn't going to take it out on anybody in my horror games.
and yet here
And
we
yet.
are. I rolled a 6 on the dark die, so I'm going up in a ruin. And I have my self-sabotage mantras. I'm going to be pulling up some self-help mantras and modifying them so that I can properly pull this off.
Okay. I mean, like, don't go too cray-cray. I mean, like, you still have 3 more rings to go. Although, I mean, we've seen some spectacular ones, I'm sure, go out at a
I like
time.
that you
so-
can sort of combine Mark's 2 conditions into like whispering mantra, like the voices could be, whispering your self-sabotage mantras.
Oh my gosh. Shoo. All right. So. Yeah, so before I go back to Sue Ellen, I just want to let you two know, Gerry and Mark, you do find indications in the terminals that you've looked at that there is a computer virus. And you both find a flash drive that looks like it was removed from a mainframe. That seems to be the source of the virus.
So I dodge the electric snakes, make my way to a security terminal, and there I find a thumb drive.
Yes. Both of you.
That was
Each
removed. That was removed from a central mainframe somewhere. Okay.
You each find it.
Okay.
Or find a version of it for sure. So.
Hey, Gerry. Click, click, Gerry.
Can we hear each other?
You two can hear each other now.
Mark, what are you doing? You're supposed to be behind me.
The door's shut. Look, I'm at a security terminal. Did you find anything?
Well, I'm pretty positive that we're being played by some kind of malevolent entity, and I think I'm going to burn it all down so that we can salvage the metal and wires of this Hulk without any of this inconvenient computerized nonsense. So I'm going to put in a worm and I'm going to wipe the whole damn thing. So you just hang tight and hold on to something in case the gravity fails.
So you're going to the mainframe, or?
Oh no, I'm going to introduce it from here, but I think we might still need to go to the bridge in order to see the job done.
Okay, I'll make my way to the bridge. I'll see you there. Click, Sue Ellen. Click, click.
Sue Ellen, you can hear them now. You're kind of dealing with something right now. You've disabled the android, and you are making a decision about upgrades and reducing ruin.
I think what I'm going to do, I think the way that I betray. Sorry, I was thinking about this, I promise. Now I just realized I had an even better idea like last second. I think the way I'm going to betray the crew, the other crew members, is by turning off the life support in the infirmary when I leave. So that they can't get in. Which means they can't find, the bits that I'm going to leave behind of other Gerry. But also, they can't, get any sort of
medical treatment.
Yep.
Oh,
okay.
Gotcha. Okay. Right. Fair. All right.
And then, I would like to try and grab some bits from other Gerry to. So other Gerry, not Gerry, other Gerry, to this is like a Parks and Rec situation from other Gerry to to like add to myself, to better myself as an android.
Which parts do you grab?
I want those cool eyes. Those eyes were awesome. I want them 4K eyes.
4K eyes. Yep.
Man, there's a lot of cool stuff that he had. I would like to take out of the back of his head that I know is there, his extra memory.
So before you get to decide to go off to the bridge, I will say that when you check out this flash drive and realize that it's the source of the virus, you realize from all the access points within it that it needed approval from somebody on the bridge in order to execute. Whose login do you think was needed to access this?
The captain or the XO, probably both. I reckon it'd be one of those multi-part Star Trek style deals where you need
Yeah.
like 3 people.
Okay. And that makes sense. I mean, like, you need, like, more than one person to decide to flip the switch. So captain, XO, yep. And then I'm just gonna, like, cut over to Mark and say, Mark, you actually discovered the same thing. It's very eerie because, again, the flash drives you each happen to find in those security booths. And you find the same information almost exactly at the same time, that it required bridge approval to execute. And you discover that the login was the dual login necessary.
Okay.
But when Gerry's messing around with his terminal, you see him. It was one of those combo things. It's in a bigger area where you have more than one monitor, and you're working at the central monitor to find out this information as you're checking out this flash drive. But on one of the side monitors, you see a little picture-in-picture that popped up. Can't see what exactly is going on. I mean, you just see figures moving in it. Do you open it up?
Yeah. Maybe it's the authorization code. Maybe it's something that I can use to. If I can activate things here rather than needing to go to the bridge, easy peasy.
Well, this happens to look like it's like on a local, not a local. It's like streamed. It's like,
It's happening now.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's open it up. Let's see what's going on. Surely it's nothing.
Huh?
I reckon it maximizes itself full screen, like
Yeah.
without me doing anything.
Well, you make like you're gonna touch it, and then the red light turns on somewhere in a corner. You can't tell from where. And then the screen maximizes. Same thing for where you are, Mark, as well. And you both see the footage. You don't see or hear any sound, though. The sound just, like, it's not working, almost as if the speakers are turned off or there's no speakers at all. What you see is Sue Ellen aiming the electro saw at this person, which has a very uncanny resemblance to Gerry. A naked Gerry, but Gerry.
I'm assuming I'm gonna have to take a ruin roll for this, aren't I?
Both of you take a ruin roll, please.
Oh yeah. This doesn't ruin me, what will? I got a 6, so my ruin is definitely going up.
About time, dude. You've been chilling at a 2 this whole time.
I always tend to forget. Maybe I'm bad at, like, calling ruin rolls for people, or you guys are just rolling weirdly.
I mean,
don't know.
2 of us are at 4 already, so.
Well, I'm about to try and, like, introduce a computer virus into the system, so I'm probably gonna cause problems.
Well, your ruin didn't go up, Mike, so you're okay. It's when you hit 5, that's when you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, I'm a just click on the comms. Hey, Gerry, you seeing this?
It's just they're just trying to deceive us. It's that AI. It's trying to mess with your head. Don't listen to it. Although he does look a lot like me.
Wasn't it a passive auditory listening observer? There is no audio here at all.
Mark, don't be naive. There's nothing passive about this.
Did shut the door on me. No, okay. We go to the bridge. We settle this. We finish the job.
You got
And we
this.
sell the parts.
You got this.
We got this. I've got this.
You got this all wrong.
I've got this. We've
And
got
then,
this.
Gerry, you're seeing, because you're seeing yourself, for definite sure, you're seeing an image of your own body as your ruin goes up with the tubing and the copper and the electronics inside, whether you realize it or not, because the screens will, the screen that you're both looking at will flick off just as Sue Ellen applies the knife, the electro saw, to this figure that looks like Gerry. And goes blank.
I think Jerry's like sweating in his helmet, like sweat beading down his forehead, saying, "It's not me. It's all a lie. That's a deep fake. I know what you're doing. I know you're trying to get us off the ship so we can't shut you down. I'm coming for you." And he puts his face right up to the camera and says, "I'm coming for you, motherfucker." And then smashes the camera.
That is like the perfect scene to end this session for today. Holy shit. Love that.
That's really good.
That is so good. I could not have come up with anything better than that. That is so brilliant. Oh my god. And so ends Ring 2.
Oh, wow.
Holy shit.
Oh,
my
boy.
god.
It's fine.
It doesn't matter if I'm doing horror. I don't know why. Just like, everybody just gives me the giggles or something to laugh at.
Oh, there's a lot of research about that, about why people laugh when they're feeling terrified or horrified, and it's just human beings being human beings.
Well, you guys are also, and your sound is much better. I don't know.
Yeah.
if you
Yeah,
get it
whatever you
wrong.
did.
I think what something happened with Zoom, and it switched to automatic volume adjustment, and for some reason it was like, yeah, I don't like you being this loud, and I was like, well, that's rude.
Yeah. It's like, oh, well. Ugh.
It clearly hates androids. Clearly.
Yeah, well, I mean, like Discord will automatically try to switch to a different sound system that I don't have. And I'm just like, no, you're wrong. I need this.
But
My
I like
mic.
this one. I want this other one.
Yeah, exactly. No, you don't get to. No. All right. So, thus endeth part 1 of Allura. Stars and wishes. What you think? Stars for like gameplay, the game, each other. That go for it. And then like wishes. What you want to see for part 2.
Well, the stars for Alicia Furnace. This is awesome. This game is so much fun. I love space horror. I love it. It is just one of my favorite genres in the whole world, and I'm really excited. This is the first time I get to play like a real space horror game, so it's just the best. I'm having a lot of fun playing with all of you. James, is the first time we've played a game together, I think, and it's just great. Mike, I really love how your character is clearly turning into the it's game over, man, game over guy, and gotta have one of those. I love Gerry and his yelling at the cameras, and he's the guy that's gonna start like a shoot 'em up for no reason, and I don't know, it's gonna be great. I'm so excited for that. Mads, your spooky, like terrifying descriptions are really spooky. They're really spooky, so way to go on that. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see what happens next week when the robot or the android uprising happens and I take over the ship. Or not. We'll see.
Let's see. I appreciate all of you guys for being very patient with me learning this new system. The words of encouragement with the whole devil's bargain thing has been very, very enlightening. You all have just been really fun to play with, specifically Gerry. We have been on this boat for like 30 seconds and he's already like, the ship is against us. I don't know who else is here, but we're gonna shoot them. It's like, dude, hold on, wait a minute, we're still trying to figure this out. And I appreciate the commitment to just 100% gung-ho, let's go Space Marine. And like, that's on point. Sue Ellen going from like, I don't know, like war medic of like, shut up, sit down, I'm gonna make sure you're better, to Michael Bateman style serial killer. Like, you may hold my hand, but the person you think is Sue Ellen does not exist is a very jarring shift that I like. I appreciate the guidance in terms of like these conditions. I need reminders about it. Mads, you did a very good job about helping to drive that. I was going to take the non-risky approach by saying, I'm going to find a different route. But the reminder of, hey, you have whispers as a condition and they start talking to you is like, right, risk takers, let's go. And keeping me true to like the fiction, to what the game is, was very much appreciated. What do I want to see? Honestly, I want to see I want a competing voice. I want a Dune fight. I want to be able to use hive mind and convince like you and him fight, and I'm gonna just sit here and like watch you guys settle this while I do stuff in the background. Like, if I get to have a Gerry v. Gerry fight, like immediately takes notes. All right, cool.
I think my star is, I think, Mike, you did a great job of just like jumping into like being game and jumping in, and I think because like Trophy's a system are rooted in Trophy, where as long as you get the genre, you can just go ahead and do what I think you sort of did a really good job. And like you were saying, Amanda, it's great to play with you, because I've heard a lot of your APs for like Trophy Gold, so it was really, really nice to play. And just getting really high ruin really early on and just really going that far in Ring 2 is awesome, and great that Ring 3 is coming up, which Mike is the paranoia ring, so that's pretty awesome.
Excuse me, hold on, wait, the rings have names?
They kind of have rough themes. Like the first one was the easily overcome challenge, to make you a false sense of security. The second one is the environmental challenges ring, and the third one is paranoia. So,
great.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think that's going to be a great Ring 3, and it's going to be really awesome. And Mads, that was really, really good, and I liked your kind of low key creepiness. And I think we're all on the same page about being admirers of Event Horizon. So I think I felt like I was right back in 1997, watching it when I was far too young. At the movie cinema. So yeah, and my wishes is I want a massive contest role later on. I want this all to go horribly wrong in the best possible way.
Yeah, I can't wait for those contest rolls, man, because that's gonna be wicked. So, excuse me, I'll just give you a little preview, Mike. So, when it gets down to the point of like serious betrayal, like ruin against ruin, you're getting really close there, and you got to betray each other. There's a contest role where you are literally utilizing not only your skills, occupation, background to add the light die, but then you are also, however many points of ruin you have, that's the amount of light die that you get to add to that first. And then, if you're using ritual, if you're risking, you're definitely risking, so you get one dark die. And then, after that, you decide how many dark die to add to that roll. So it could be a risk roll of like 5-4. You're telling the system, I'm going to roll 5 light, 4 dark. And then the other person decides how many of dark die they're going to add, and then come up with their roll. And then you do a roll off, and then we see what the results are.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that sometimes happens, when you're playing Trophy Dark and you're the assassin and you roll too many dark die in a contest roll and then you die.
And you have the murder skill and it still does not help you. And you have your fellow player giving a look like, what the fuck, Trophy? And
it's just, I'll never get over that in the
I'll never get over that either.
It was so funny.
Because
I mean, my favorite ones are the ones where everyone throws in like a bunch of dark die and nobody takes any ruin, and it's like somebody wins. Yeah.
That's great. That is fucking brilliant when that happens too, because Okay, so like I'm just gonna say it. I don't know if it's ever gonna get posted because Jack's got to give you permission. But I mean, he ran a Witchwood recently, which is based on Wizard of Oz, and it was a roll off. It was a contest roll between me and Kavya, and Kavya was desperate to use one of her rituals, and she hadn't had a chance so far, and she hadn't had any ruin. And she was just freaking out because she was like, if I get ruined before I get to use this, I am. And she was like getting real upset about it. She didn't get any ruin.
So you could get multiple bits of ruin from a contested roll.
Every 6. On every 1, sorry. Every 6. You win on the 6s, every 1, sorry.
Every 1, yeah. Every 1 die will get you a point of ruin.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So you just peace out at that point. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Well,
All
you
right.
get to describe. Okay, so the ending, your ending of Trophy Dark means that, like, if you survive with obviously less than 6 ruin, then you tell us how you walk away, unless you're murdered. You tell us how you walk away forever changed. If you're lost, you get to narrate how lost you are.
Okay.
So this
All
is
right.
this is a brilliant narrative story OSR. I don't know what the hell it is, but whatever it is, it's wonderful, and this is why we love Trophy Dark so much. But I wanted to give you a preview of what a contest roll could look like, because that becomes amazingly fun.
Yep. Looking forward to inciting
Well,
one of those.
Yeah, you saw it from our playthrough of Flocculent Gathering.
But it's different to like be in the scenario.
It is
you know?
different. It is so different, and it's just I mean, when Kavya apologized for being in a roll off, like a contest roll with me, I'm like, I'm here for this, girl. I don't care. This is what I was expecting. Are you kidding me? This was lovely. Because we were friends when we started the incursion.
I mean, it's like what Mike was saying earlier in this game, falling with style. That's the new failing forward. That's the new playing to lose. Falling with style. I like that a lot.
I love falling with style. That is, and it is true, because then you can determine how you end. Regardless of whether you are killed or lost, because Amanda's character died, and in that particular playthrough, and she got to narrate what the world was like after she was dead, and so that's awesome. Not that you have to think about that sort of thing, because I mean, like, you get a few moments to figure out, this is how I'm going to narrate my end at the epilogues. But yeah, I mean, again, it's just some amazing stuff in this game, and we're very happy to share it with you.
No, thank you. I'm trying not to do any pre-planning.
No, you can't.
And I'm glad it's clicking, honestly, because I like killing my darlings, and this game seems to encourage that. So.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Play to lose. Play with style. Fail with style or whatever. Regardless, I mean, this is an amazing game for it, and the intensity can ramp up pretty high. But I mean, again, so long as you can lean into that, you're golden, really. And again, keeping it safe. I mean, if we ever go, please, if we ever go too far, or if anybody's feeling uncomfortable for whatever reason, and I forget to look at the damn safety tab, please tag me, please.
Yep. We're all like, how these games work, especially with horror games, is everybody is out for making sure that everybody else feels safe and protected in a good space. So I think, we're all trusting each other and trusting ourselves to try and do that.
Enjoy the horror without experiencing trauma from it.
Yes, trauma is not great.
No, absolutely not. Okay. So I look forward to next week to see how ruined y'all get, and then stars for every single thing that has been able to be played. I mean, I love everybody's devil's bargains. Just coming up with these things. I'm like, holy crap! It's like so many good choices. Anything I come up with is just like, whatever. But no.
I needed your devil's spark, and I'm gonna be honest.
Aw, okay. Well, I mean, some of the choices are like, like as in our flocculent cathedral playthrough, it's like, what did David get? It's like fungus, fungus, and more fungus. He's like, I'm not gonna roll with any of it, so you know. And I get it. So you don't have to. That's the beauty of the devil's bargain. You don't have to. So.
Yeah.
Oh, my personal favorite, pick all of them. Just because I've done that before. I think I picked
I've done
three. I picked three at once. Or
Yeah.
something.
You still only get the one. You still only get the one die, but
Right.
But
right.
it's narratively interesting.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
fun.
Yeah, no, it's true. That is fun. But I didn't know that was an option, so I'm like, oh, I gotta remember that for next time if I really like it.
Yeah,
Shit.
it's great.
Awesome. Okay. But yeah, it's all about the narrative. So like, you know, if you can spin and lean into your conditions, lean into your drive, lean into anything that provides your story and what you remember, to give you impetus for the doom that comes in. So
Yeah.
and then again, wish to see how you guys play this out for the next 3 rings, and then hopefully everyone gets ruined sufficiently that they are satisfied. Okay, and yeah, I mean, again, stars for letting me introduce this to you, Mike, and stars for, of course, James and Amanda, who have played with me before. Not necessarily in this, but I mean, like, you know, have played with me before, and it's like, you know, this is the first time I think I've run you both as a GM. So
Yeah, we've never played. James and I have never played together, so this is.
I know that's great too. I
lot
mean,
of
like
fun, so
I love that.
Thanks
you know?
for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so have a great day, evening, whatever you're in right now, and I will see you guys next time.
See you next week.
All
Bye,
right.
everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.